Have you ever sat in a meeting or stood in the middle of a crowd and felt an icy current run down your spine the moment you realized you were completely out of place with the cards being turned over beneath the table? Does the feeling of being pushed to the margins, being seen as a predictable variable, or worse, a pawn for someone else to achieve their objective, leave you choking with resentment? This society never stops preaching about altruism. But why is it that the wealthy people who hold fate in their hands are always the most ruthless ones? Machiavelli does not teach you to become evil. He simply exposes the truth that goodness without fangs is, in reality, nothing more than weakness disguised as morality. It is time to cast aside the rose-colored lens the world has forced you to wear, since you were still sitting in a classroom. These next 30 minutes are not a dry history lecture, but a psychological dissection. We are not going to discuss how to be well-liked, but how to become untouchable. An intelligence so sharp that your opponent has to hesitate the moment they meet your eyes, because they realize every cheap manipulation tactic has already been read by you before it even has the chance to begin. Do not let a lack of information turn you into prey for seasoned predators. Watch this video to the end, and you will grasp 6 perceptual frameworks that will help you see through the hidden movements behind every lie. Once this third eye opens, the world around you will no longer look like a chaotic mess, but like a chessboard where you hold the initiative. Stay until the very end, and turn your intelligence into a wall of steel that no one can cross unless you allow it. Ruthless truth. Take a deep breath, because we are about to cross a line that, once you have crossed it, you will never be able to turn back from again. Are you ready to trade artificial peace for a pair of eyes that can see straight into the soul of the person in front of you? Machiavelli once left behind a chilling warning. Anyone who tries to remain good among a pack of beasts will soon be destroyed. What I am about to share is not knowledge for you to use on an exam. It is a kind of mind virus. Once you have seen the naked gears of power in motion, you will never be able to look at this world again with the innocent eyes you had yesterday. Those who live by manipulating and controlling the crowd, they hate people who possess this kind of thinking. Why? Because these 6 shifts in perception are permanent. You will begin to notice these performances of humanity everywhere, from the way a boss uses compassion to bind employees, to the way a friend uses weakness to emotionally blackmail you. This truth may make you feel lonelier, because suddenly you realize that you are speaking a language completely different from the sleepy crowd out there. You will start seeing things that pierce at you, and you will not be able to pretend not to know them ever again. If you still want to believe that this world runs on fairness and pure kindness, stop this video immediately. Go back to the quiet life of a happy pawn. But if you are sick of being led around by the nose, if you are brave enough to let your mind be torn apart and reassembled into something sharper, then stay. In the next 30 minutes, we are going to redefine your intelligence into a weapon that makes anyone think twice before stepping across your boundaries. Stop judging people by what they say. Start reading them through what they protect. Welcome back, brothers, to the space of hard truths. Today, we are going to break apart one of the biggest illusions American society has been injecting into your head since childhood, the belief that words are golden. Most of the crowd out there is led around by the nose by hypocritical words that drip like honey. They define a person by whatever label that person attaches to himself: kindness, integrity, unshakable loyalty. But the wise man is different. If you want to know the nature of a wolf, do not listen to its howl. Look at the prey it is guarding. The moment a man starts going feral to protect a certain interest, that is the moment the mask falls off. Do not listen to what they say. Look at who they are willing to destroy to keep what they want. Have you ever sat in a polished office in Manhattan, listening to some boss swear up and down about family culture, only for that same man to sign your termination papers a week later just to protect his year-end bonus? How did that feel? In that moment, wounded pride rage good. Hold on to that rage, because it is proof that you were far too naive. Niccolo Machiavelli taught us a cold lesson in The Prince Men, in General Judge, more by the eyes than by the hands. A man's true nature does not reveal itself when life is pleasant and easy. It reveals itself when disruption arrives. Research in behavioral psychology has shown that when people face threats to resources such as money, status, or survival, the prefrontal cortex, the part that governs their performative kindness, gives way to the amygdala. That is when the beast inside them rises. At that point, they can no longer keep acting. Picture yourself sitting at a poker table. You will lose everything, down to your last pair of underwear, if you keep fixating on an opponent whispering that he is doing fine, just playing for fun, or holding nothing special. In poker, the ones who survive to the end do not read words. They read what the other player is trying to protect. Some men protect their chips at all costs, and the second you pressure them with a heavy bet, fear flashes straight through their eyes. Others protect a hollow ego, willing to burn the whole hand down and throw all their money into the void just so they will not look like losers in front of the crowd. People in real life are the same. What reveals their nature is not the stories they post on LinkedIn or the philosophical captions under their Instagram photos, but the thing they panic and cling to when you accidentally touch their interests. Want to read someone accurately? Do not listen to how they introduce themselves. Watch them lose control when their slice of the pie gets chipped away. If a man constantly preaches morality but is ready to stab you in the back just to hold on to a few $1,000s, then sorry. That few $1,000s is the real price of his morality. Pathetically cheap, isn't it? Do not smirk in contempt too quickly, because there is a good chance you have also been a victim of your own blind kindness. Apply this in real life for me tomorrow when conflict or loss happens. Whether it is money or status, stay silent. Do not explain. Do not argue. Take one step back and observe. Watch what they are willing to sacrifice to keep what they want. A truly strong person protects principles. A petty man protects his wallet. If you keep reacting emotionally, you are nothing but a puppet in their hands. But if you reclaim control and focus on concrete action, you become dangerous because you have seen through the game. I want you to ask yourself this brutal question before you go to sleep. If tomorrow you no longer had any value for them to exploit, what face would they show you? The answer may make you feel alone, but that is the loneliness of a free man, not the loneliness of a sheep that has lost the herd. Leave the comment profile below if you have ever seen a good person reveal his true face over a little bit of personal gain. This is the ritual by which you sign a pact with yourself from this point on. You trust only actions. Subscribe now if you are sick of being prey and want to possess the fangs of Machiavellian intelligence. The awakening has only just begun. My friend, stop fantasizing about connection. Understand exploitation. Let us travel back to the 16th century, to the court of England. When King Henry VIII still held absolute power, his castle was never short of faces that appeared loyal, respectful, and devoted enough to die for their sovereign. But what was the truth? That crowd was never close to Henry because they admired him as a person. They surrounded him because of the throne he was sitting on. They craved favor, titles, and even the chance to survive in a court where a single nod from the king was enough to change a life. Today, they bowed their heads and swore loyalty. But tomorrow they were fully prepared to kneel before his enemy if the balance of power shifted. The lesson here is brutally cold. The presence of a crowd around you has never been proof of sincerity. Many people enter your life not because of who you are, but because of what you are holding that is useful to them. Once you understand that, you stop confusing care with exploitation wrapped in velvet. Have you ever wondered why there are friends who vanish for months, then suddenly send a warm message checking in on you, only to end it with a favor they need? Or why does a girl suddenly become unusually sweet right before bringing up some luxury item on Amazon? Most men out there are still painfully naive. They think anyone who approaches them does so because they click or because they are genuinely liked. They treat enthusiasm as sincerity and casual check-ins as soulful connections. But Machiavelli would smirk at that innocence. His philosophy points to a naked truth. Every relationship is built on need or fear. In social psychology, there is a concept called social exchange theory. It shows that human beings unconsciously calculate cost and benefit in every interaction. When the benefit no longer outweighs the cost they have to pay, they leave. That is not malice. That is the survival instinct of a living creature. The crowd around you is not evil. They are simply optimizing their survival based on your resources. Wake up, my friend. Whenever someone suddenly becomes warm toward you, do not rush to feel touched. Stop, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what are they lacking that I have? Maybe they need your expertise to finish a project. They need the connections you worked hard to build. Or worse, they see you as nothing more than an emotional trash can where they can dump all the garbage in their heads after a bad day. Once you understand their motive, you hold the power to direct the situation. You will know exactly how much of your energy to invest without being crushed when they turn their back on you. Living in America, in this society that glorifies individualism and practicality, believing in unconditional friendship is no different from walking through a pack of wolves with a slab of beef tied around your neck. Have you ever been a temporary shelter for someone who only appeared when they were in trouble? And then once the storm passed, they left without a single word of thanks? If so, do not be sad. That was tuition for you to learn this. They came to you because of the position you occupied, not because of the person you were. Machiavelli teaches us to dissect the structure of benefit in every relationship. Do not ask, are they good? Ask, what are they extracting from me? If you have no value to exploit, you are invisible. Your danger lies in knowing that you are being exploited and allowing it to happen only at a price worthy of it. That is what awakened power looks like. I want you to perform a small ritual right now. Look through your friends list, the most recent conversations on your phone. If you see that you are always the one giving while they are only the ones receiving, cut them off or create distance without hesitation. Leave the comment, awaken, if you are committing from this point on that you will never again let anyone use the name of friendship to drain your blood. Remember this, you do not fail when you are used. You only fail when you know you are being used and still refuse to pick up the knife to protect your boundaries. Stop seeing empathy as enough. Learn to see the power hidden beneath every behavior. Empathy is the cheapest weapon the weak use to beg for pity. and the strong use to soothe their prey. Behind every friendly handshake or comforting word, there is a power structure quietly operating underneath. The intelligent man does not look at the tears. He looks at who is holding the handle in this game. Do not let kindness blind you. See the string that is controlling you. Have you ever watched a co-worker, or even a close brother, make a subtly belittling remark? Right in the middle of a party or an important meeting, they will say it in a way like, "I'm just giving you honest feedback." Man, that was a little unprofessional. Then, the moment they see you feeling embarrassed, they immediately add another dose of anesthetic. Don't take it badly. I only want what's best for you. Most of you will choose to smile and let it pass. Or worse, blame yourselves for having done something wrong. You explain their behavior through empathy. Maybe they really are worried about me. Or they've just been through something rough. That's why they're acting so harsh. Wake up. That is not emotion. That is a status war, a status game. Niccolo Machiavelli affirmed a truth that dreamers never dare face love or hate does not matter. What matters is who holds control. In his philosophy, every social behavior is a move on the board to establish who rules and who submits. When that man offers his honest feedback in front of the crowd, he does not want you to improve. He is marking territory. He is stepping on your shoulders to stand taller in the eyes of everyone around you. Psychological research on social dominance has shown that human beings always crave a higher rank within the group hierarchy. Behaviors that seem caring are often actually ways of lowering a rival without declaring open war. He puts you in a weaker position through counterfeit empathy, making it impossible for you to resist without being seen as small-minded. This is a subtle power trap, and if you keep using empathy to excuse it, you will remain nothing more than a doormat for others to step on. Change immediately. When someone deliberately lowers you under the banner of what's best for you, no long-term explanation. Explaining is the action of a man standing below, looking up. Instead, use calmness as your shield and a sharp counter question as your sword. Look him straight in the eye and ask, what exactly are you trying to achieve by saying this in front of everyone, instead of telling me in private the moment you drag his motive into the light? The balance of power shifts instantly. Now he is the one who has to fumble through an explanation, while you have taken back control. Remember the lesson from the fable of the wolf in sheep's clothing that we have heard since childhood. Most people only fear the fake appearance, but the intelligent man sees the power hidden underneath. The wolf does not wear sheep's skin because it feels emotional or wants to be loved. It does it to gain access, to enter the middle of the flock without suspicion, and from that position, control the fate of others. Real life is no different. Many behaviors that look weak, sad, or kind are actually methods of gaining the upper hand over you. The most dangerous man does not snarl like the Joker. He smiles like a saint so that you willingly kneel. I want you to ask yourself this question in every interaction from now on. Does this action of theirs raise me or lower me in the eyes of others? If it lowers you, do not care about their emotional reasons. Act to re-establish your boundary. Do not let empathy turn you into a slave. Leave the comment status below if you commit to that. From today on, you will see through the power games hidden beneath the mask of kindness. Trace the motive backward. Stop reacting to the surface. Reacting immediately to whatever happens in front of you is the instinct of livestock. When someone throws irritation or provocation at you, do not rush to react. Ask yourself, Why are they throwing that attitude at you right now? The moment you react according to the emotion they laid out for you, you have officially stepped into a game whose rules they started. Tracing an action back to its source is the only way to escape a board that has already been arranged against you. Stop looking at the surface. Dig up the rotten root of the matter. The crowd out there, the people I call reflex machines, always live by a preset script. They feel delighted when given praise. They panic with guilt when criticized, and they immediately lower their guard just because the other person offers a sweet apology. Do you see yourself in that? Have you ever nodded yes to an unreasonable request just because the other person had flattered you to the sky right beforehand? If you have, then congratulations, you have officially joined the ranks of the easiest puppets on the planet to control. Machiavelli, our master, lived in Florence during a time when political alliances changed faces faster than the promises of a bad man on Tinder. He understood that a letter asking for peace could be nothing more than a smokescreen to buy time for gathering troops. A warm diplomatic handshake could be nothing more than a curtain hiding the bone-deep stab that was about to come. Machiavelli did not survive by believing in the surface of events. He survived by tracing backward. He constantly asked himself, who benefits if I believe these words? Who benefits if I soften right now? Who needs me to react in exactly the rhythm they have worked so hard to set up? That is the difference between a man who is led around by the nose and a man who can read the board. In the real world, events are only the still surface of the water. Motive is the violent current underneath. Anyone who stays busy reacting to the waves on top will soon be swept into nothingness. Only the one who can read the current knows where the safe shore is and where the deadly trap has been perfectly disguised. Machiavelli distilled a cold truth. The wise man looks at outcomes. The fool only looks at appearances. From a psychological standpoint, human beings have a mechanism called reciprocity. When someone does something good for you, your brain is programmed to feel indebted and want to repay them. Professional manipulators in America, from used car salesmen to cunning politicians, know this rule by heart. They give you a small gift, a compliment, a trivial favor to force you to repay it with something much bigger, submission or a bad decision. It is a form of emotional coercion, and if you are not alert, you will be stripped clean to the bone. So what is the solution? Apply this core principle. Why now? When you receive an offer that seems too good or an apology that sounds too sweet, pause for 5 seconds. Do not let dopamine or guilt guide your hand. Coldly trace it backward. If I do what they want, who is the one who ultimately benefits? Learn to freeze your emotions in front of cheap bait. You need to become numb to exaggerated praise and hard in the face of crocodile tears. Remember this: the person who apologizes to you the most is often the person planning to do it again. They are simply buying a license to keep hurting you. Have you ever regretted saying yes too quickly just because of a hollow compliment? The feeling you get when you realize you were used is not pleasant. It is like discovering you just paid for a meal made entirely of garbage. That wounded pride is necessary. It is the poison that wakes you up from the dream of naivety. Do not let your emotions be controlled by someone else. The way people press buttons on a remote. Ask yourself every day, how do they want me to feel after this action? And how does that feeling serve their purpose? If the answer is that they want you soft so they can profit from you, then smile and walk in the opposite direction. A dangerous man never reacts in the way his opponent expects. He breaks the script with silence or with an unrelated action. That is the moment he takes back total control of the board. Do not be the fool who believes every promise. Be the one standing behind the curtain. watching every motive, and only making a move when the outcome is already secure in the palm of your hand. Comment, trace it back right now. If you are committing that from this point on, you will never again blindly lunge for the bone someone else throws at you. Hit subscribe if you are ready to tear up every rotten root of deceit around you. Are you choosing to be the one watching the play, or the one writing the script? The answer lies in your ability to see through the current beneath the surface from this very moment. Stop hoping to be understood. Build airtight discretion. We have already gone through reading the enemy, dissecting exploitation, and tracing motives backward. Now, I am going to take you to a higher level of self-protection, where your naivety will be crushed to make room for a suit of armor with no gaps in it. Forget Marvel's superhero movies for a moment, where justice is always vindicated. In the real world, truth is the cheapest thing there is if you do not know how to shield it. Imagine yourself walking into a Renaissance court, where every hallway is filled with secretaries, attendants, and opportunists waiting for the chance to stab someone in the back just to climb one more rung on the ladder of power. You say one sentence with completely clean and straightforward intentions, but watch what happens by the time that sentence reaches the second person. Half of it has already been cut away to fit their bias. By the time it reaches the third, dark motives have been added that you never even thought of. And by the time it reaches the king, or your superior, or the online crowd, that story has transformed into a monster turned against its own creator. Real life runs on that same brutal mechanism. So many naive men in America today still firmly believe that as long as I speak from the heart, as long as I live decently, people will understand me correctly. Wrong. This world does not run on truth. It runs on how a story is retold, twisted, and weaponized to destroy the other side. Have you ever felt so furious you could lose your mind when an innocent joke of yours was twisted by a coworker into something toxic or disrespectful, or when you tried to help someone, only for that same person to go around saying that you were showing off or had bad intentions? I know that feeling. It is like getting slapped across the face while you were still trying to smile. The truth is, the crowd out there is not free enough to understand you. They are only free enough to interpret your actions in whatever way benefits their ego or their position. Niccolo Machiavelli left behind a cold warning in The Prince Truth: matters less than the way the crowd believes the story being told. He did not teach us to become liars. He taught us to become designers of information. To Machiavelli. The man who believes that an upright tree fears no crooked shadow is a man handing himself over to the executioner. In the game of power, the one who controls the narrative is the one who wins. If you allow other people to interpret you however they want, you have already lost before the game even begins. From a psychological standpoint, there is a phenomenon called the fundamental attribution error. Human beings tend to judge other people's actions based on character. For example, he did that because he is a bad person. Instead of judging the circumstances that led him to make that choice, the moment you leave an opening, the crowd will immediately assign you the worst label possible to satisfy their need to judge. Sociological research has also shown that negative information and twisted stories spread 6 times faster than the truth. So, expecting to be understood is no different from hoping a shark will not eat you just because you are a vegetarian. Stop deceiving yourself with blind sincerity. The only solution for you to survive and stand firm is this: build airtight discretion. Stop immediately with this habit of exposing your back for others to inspect. Stop sharing your inner thoughts, your plans, or careless remarks on social media, or with people who are not truly on your side. In work and in relationships, act as if there is always a camera recording you for evidence in court. Does that sound exhausting? Maybe, but it is certainly less painful than being betrayed. Discretion does not mean you have to live falsely. It means you have to live tightly. Speak less. But whenever you do speak, leave behind words that are clear and impossible to twist. Instead of saying ambiguous things that can be bent out of shape, use precise, cold language backed by evidence. You must always have a backup plan, Plan B, for when someone tries to play dirty with your words. Sincerity will never protect you from a smear campaign, but discretion and hard evidence will. The intelligent man does not live by faith in human goodness. He lives by designing things so that no one can ever get a grip on the handle of his knife. Look at the most powerful figures in the world today. From tech CEOs to cunning politicians, they never hope to be understood. They control what the crowd is allowed to know about them. They build an image so sealed that people can only speculate, never convict, while you are busy explaining that's not what I meant on Facebook. They are staying silent and building their empires. Do you want to be the man who keeps defending himself, or the man others are wary of because they cannot see through him? I want you to stop for a moment and ask yourself this before you say anything important. If these words were cut apart, secretly recorded, or taken out of context, how could they become a weapon against me? If you see even the smallest opening, stay silent. Your silence is your strongest weapon, because no one can twist what they were never allowed to hear. Learn to live discreetly so that no one has the right to pass judgment on your life. Do you see how predictable you are? Have you noticed that you are always the first one to pour your heart out the moment you feel lonely or in need of empathy? The brutal truth is this: every word you speak can become a bullet you accidentally place in your opponent's hand. Do not let yourself become the victim of your own tongue. Remember this in Machiavelli's world. The one who survives is not the one who speaks the loudest, but the one who keeps his secrets the longest. Leave the comment, discretion, if you are committing from this day forward to building a wall of security around your own life. Do not let anyone hold the handle of your knife. Show them only the blade when you are ready to win. Are you choosing to be an open book for others to tear apart, or a code no one can crack? Never forget, dangerous intelligence begins with knowing how to conceal yourself. Stop believing that living clean is enough. Learn how to create distance. Congratulations, brothers, on reaching the final stage of this transformation. I know that after the last 5 points, the way you see the world is no longer rose-colored, but this is the final blow that turns you from an obedient sheep into a man who controls the game. We are going to talk about a deadly mistake that young men in America often make: the illusion of living clean. Do you think that as long as you do not harm anyone, do not deceive anyone, live sincerely, and keep your heart open to everyone, the world will treat you kindly in return? Ridiculous. That is the mindset of weak men begging for protection from a universe that does not exist. The brutal reality is this: people do not only exploit your guilt or your weaknesses, but they also exploit your accessibility. When you live too openly, exposing all your plans, fears, and kindness to just anyone, you are handing over a map to your own fatal weak point. Machiavelli stated a hard truth: distance creates dignity and safety. The man who is too easy to predict has already signed the death sentence of his own power. Research in behavioral psychology has pointed to a phenomenon called hedonic adaptation in social relationships When you become too available, your value in the eyes of others drops without mercy. Human beings have a predator instinct. They only crave and respect what is scarce and difficult to grasp. Living clean without barriers is nothing more than an invitation for information hunters and opportunists to step in and trample your life. The solution is not to become an evil man, but to become a man who knows how to maintain distance. Never reveal every card you are holding. Keep a part of yourself in reserve, a layer of mystery, a silence that no one can invade. Distance is the best filter for removing those who want to exploit you. When you are not easy to read, the other side is forced to show their hand first because they cannot predict your reaction. Scarcity of information is the ultimate weapon for maintaining a position. Look at Queen Elizabeth I of the Tudor dynasty. One of her greatest weapons was not only her powerful fleet, but her ability to maintain distance to an extreme degree. She never gave away full availability, and she never allowed any faction to fully read her intentions. Not even the courtiers standing closest to the throne. That distance left her enemies confused, her allies cautious, and allowed her to preserve her power to turn the board at the decisive moment. The man who is hardest to use is not necessarily the most perfect one. He is the one who knows how to build a fence high enough that others cannot lay a hand on his fate. Are you being too permissive in letting others enter your inner world? Are you proud of your honesty, when in reality, it is just a lack of control over information? It is time to wake up. Living clean is good. But living clean without knowing how to create distance only makes you a clean piece of bait, neatly arranged on a plate for others to carve up. I want you to ask yourself this: if tomorrow I became completely silent, how many people would feel uneasy because they did not know what I was thinking? If the answer is no one, then you are too cheap. The man hardest to deceive is the one who knows how to stay silent at the right moment. Do you dare to keep something to yourself, or are you still so hungry for attention that you have to expose everything? Leave the comment "distance" if you are committing from this point on to building a fence of power around yourself. The journey to becoming dangerously intelligent is not for men who love to show off. It is for those who know how to hide in the shadows of discretion and wait for the right moment to dominate. Are you choosing to be an unlocked door or an impregnable fortress? The choice lies in your silence from this moment forward. Conclusion: we have just gone through a painful but necessary dissection of the mind. These 6 shifts in perception are not merely knowledge, they are the scars of maturity. Now, when you look in the mirror, you no longer see a victim of circumstance, but an entity holding Machiavelli's cards of power. You have chosen to cast off the sheep's clothing and put on the composure of a sharp observer. The world out there is still the same, but the way you move within it has changed forever. You are smarter now, not to oppress, but to make sure no one can ever again lay a hand on your freedom and your self-respect. After going through these naked truths, was there a moment when you suddenly realized just how ridiculously naive you had been in the past? Or is there a specific situation in which you wish you had possessed this way of thinking sooner? Leave a comment below. Not to complain, but to confirm to yourself that I have awakened. I want to hear your story, because every experience is proof that you are separating yourself from the sleeping crowd and joining the few who dare to look truth in the face. But remember, knowing the rules of the game is one thing, mastering the board is another. Becoming a true ruler in your own life is not the destination of a 3-0 minute video, but a discipline of the self that lasts a lifetime. If you are ready to sharpen your fangs and build an untouchable state of mind, hit subscribe and become part of the community of the most awake minds here. Do not just watch, turn it into instinct. I will see you again in the deeper layers of power.